What's up, gang? I'm Pool Noodle, and today I did something a little different. I put together a list of all the best rune words you can get early on for pretty much every class out there. I made sure to keep this within the lines of a pole rune and below, although there are like 2 exceptions that I'll go over. I'll have timestamps for the different item types in the description down below for you to jump around. But without wasting too much of your time, let's get to the learning. I want to start with the weapons section since this seems to be the largest by a long shot. Spirit is fucking solid and probably the most overpowered all-around starter rune word you can make. The runes Tal, Thol, Ort, and Am are all obtainable before you even finish normal, especially with the Tal, Ral, and Ort coming from your Barb quest in Act 5. You can get a white base for these from cows and use your quest from Larzuk to hit 4 sockets. The skills, cast rate, hit recovery, and mana make this incomparable early on. Leaf is another nasty one that you can make in just Act 1 of normal. You can shop a 2-socket staff from Akara and easily find Tyr and Ral from Countess. The thing about Leaf is that it adds 3 to all fire skills among all the classes, so it's not just sorceresses that benefit from this one. White is a solid bone necro one that you can make in a 2-socket base around both Nightmare and Hell with Dole and IO. This one cranks your bone spear through the roof with 2 to bone spear and 3 to poison and bone skills for a total of 5 just in the rune word. Keep in mind that you can find bases with skills in them as well, which will add to the rune word. For the Zon and the Act 1 mercenaries, we have a few bows to go through. Zephyr is cool since it's only Ort and Eth, but honestly I would recommend Edge over that. Edge is a 3-socket rune word using Tyr, Tal, and Am. It adds an actual shitload of damage to demons and undead, has high attack speed, a high level Thorns aura, prevents monster heal, and even reduces vendor prices by 15%, making this an insane early gambling item. Later on there is Melody, which is Shale, Ko, and Neph, and this can be put in a Zon bow with another +3 to bow skills for a total of +6. This also has knockback and some increased attack speed, making this insane for either a cold or fire elemental boson. Another bow is Harmony, which isn't really viable to use even though it has a high early damage output. This is a 4-socket bow using Tyr, Ith, Sol, and Ko. This one shines the greatest when used on an Act 1 mercenary for the Vigor aura, but you can even use this for the aura yourself on swap. On the topic of mercenaries, we have the Insight rune word, which works both in bows and polearms with the runes Ral, Tyr, Tal, and Sol. The most noteworthy thing about this one is that it will give whatever merc you're using a rather high meditation aura, which cures virtually any early game mana issues you have. Now if you plan to play Phoenix Strike Assassin and for whatever reason don't level up with traps, you can make the new pattern rune word in a claw base with Tal, Ort, and Thol. Being usable at level 23, this claw has a high amount of added elemental damage as well as some attack rating and all resist, making this ideal if you go that route. For the barbs, we have Obedience and a 5-socket polearm or spear using Hell, Ko, Thol, Eth, and Fal. This was my go-to for early whirlwind barbs, but honestly this is now overshadowed by the Unbending Will rune word and a 6-socket sword. The runes for this are Fal, Io, Ith, Eld, El, and Hell. This one has a ton of high damage and bonus stats to it that make it pretty damn strong for a barb shortly after killing Hell Baal. You could put this on an Act 5 merc, but in reality if you're playing a physical build, it would probably be in your best interest to put a Lawbringer on them instead. It has some lifesteal to keep them up, but more importantly it has a solid chance to cast a level 15 Decrepify on hit, which acts like half of an amplified damage, reducing their physical resistance by 50% and breaking some physical immunes. For the next rune word, we have Passion, which is Dole, Ort, Eld, and Lem, and a 4-socket weapon. This is great for an early Zeal build for all of its attack rating, enhanced damage, and Wolverine charges. Lastly, for the weapons, we have Black. This is a 3-socket flail that uses Thol, Io, and Neph. Black is one of my favorite rune words as it's almost essential for an early Smite Paladin to take down either Declone or the Uber bosses with its high 40% chance of crushing blow and its bonus to attack speed. I think every Paladin should have one of these in their arsenal with the new spawning changes to Declone. Moving on to shields, thankfully we only have like 3 or 4. First, we have Ancient's Pledge and a 3-socket shield using Ral, Ort, and Tal, which you get from saving the barbs in Act 5. This is insane early on as it adds a massive amount to all your resistance and you basically get it for free. Second, we of course have the Spirit Shield and a 4-socket Monarch or a Paladin shield using Tal, Thol, Ort, and Am. Just like the weapon, we have 2 to skills, FCR, and hit recovery, but in a shield it also has 35% to cold, fire, and light resist, which is massive. Another solid shield is Rhyme, which is in a 2-socket base using Shale and F. This one has 25 to all res, CBF, and then 25% to Magic Find, which is why most people use this one. Splendor is last on the shield list and acts as a happy medium. This one is in a 2-socket shield using F and Lum. Splendor is awesome because it has a skill, some FCR, and some Magic Find, making it a decent all-around shield for magic finding early on if you get yourself a Lum rune. For the chests, there are a few options depending on the build. Generally, everybody starts with a stealth since it's only a 2-socket armor using Tal and F. This is everyone's favorite since it's pretty much the earliest and easiest way to get faster cast rate, run walk, and hit recovery all all in one. Next is Smoke in a 2-socket armor using Neth and Lum. This is a solid early chest for mercs due to its massive all-res. Wealth could be worth mentioning for its massive magic find and gold find, so this would be in a 3-socket chest using Lem, Ko, and Tyr. Wrapping up the chests, we have all the class Runewords. All of these add 2 to their respective classes, as well as some other supporting goodies. A few of these have somewhat of a high cost, like the Pally, Druid, and Necro, all using Mal, or even a Gull, so these are the only exception to my rule at the beginning of the video. The one that I want to highlight the most, though, is Treachery. This is a fan favorite for mercs due to its huge attack speed and that fade proc. One of the ways many people, myself included, use this is to wear it and stand in a fire to proc the fade for the extra all-res and damage reduction before entering something like Declone or Uber Trist. The effect persists even after you take the armor off. For the Helms, Nader is pretty cool, I guess, but I've almost never seen anyone use this before. It's a 2-socket helm that just uses Nef and Tyr. The next one, though, is Lore, and this one is super common. It's a 2-socket helm using Ort and Soul. Lore is awesome for its skill, light res, and mana after kill, making this a solid pick for all casters and even some physical builds. Last on the list, and a more physical-oriented helm, would be the new Wisdom Runeword in a 3-socket helm using Pull, Ith, and Eld. This one is new for 2.4, and it's a welcome sight for all that bonus AR, Pierce, Mana Steal, and CBF. I could easily see this being used on Amazons and Barbs in place of many others early on. So do me a favor and subscribe if you haven't already, and like this video so more people can see it, because I know, as well as you do, that there's a huge portion of the community who can benefit from one part of this or the other. I stream all of my leveling, farming, and Uber operations live on Twitch quite a few times a week, so if you're looking for some live interaction and entertainment, make sure you follow from the link in the description down below. There will be a few other helpful links, like one to the Noodle Gang Discord, where a lot of us have been hanging out lately, so don't be a stranger and come on in. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Happy grinding, travelers, and we'll see you next week.